Look out.
Look out.
Okay, now Matthew, we're going to do something very hard. I want you to take off your implant.
Why?
Because I want to see how you do when you're lip reading me. So I want you to take off your...
Yeah.
I know.
Why?
Matt, shoo.
No.
We have to take it off.
We're doing this off.
I got here.
I know.
Off.
I know you can't hear with it off, but we want to see what you can
I'm
do.
not out.
You're doing that. Is it off?
No.
Perfect. I want you to take off your implant. Yes, I'm going to try it without your implant. Good work. Just a few more, okay?
Then I can put it back on.
Uh-huh. Just a few more and you can put it back on.
How many more?
Hello, I'm Carolyn Brown. I'm a speech pathologist at the Hauser Institute on the Children's Cochlear Implant team. In studying the speech development of the implanted children in our program, we are noting very significant improvements, especially in those children who were implanted at an early age or who had been deaf for a short period of time. I would like at this time to present examples of such changes in 7 profoundly deaf children in our program. They are presented in order of age at onset of deafness.
Okay. The book and the apple. You say it. Okay.
Cami is congenitally deaf and was 4.5 years old when she was evaluated for a cochlear implant.
You're being silly.
The pre-implant audiological evaluation revealed a left corner audiogram for both ears. With hearing aids, she responded at 250 and 500 hertz in the left ear and out to 1,000 hertz in the right ear. All aided responses were at intensity levels beyond the speech range. She was in a total communication program. However, as you can see, she uses very little, if any, vocalizations with her signs. Can Mother carry the chair by herself? Okay. Cami is now nearly 9 years old and has had the implant for 4.5 years. With her cochlear implant, she responds from 250 to 4,000 hertz within the speech range. Use of speech and knowledge of verbal language have improved significantly. Even though her speech is marked by strained voice quality and articulation problems, she is becoming intelligible when the context is known. Can the boys push the car by themselves? Very nice.
Can you wake me up with a loud sound? That was pretty good.
Louis developed a profound hearing loss at age 10 months as a result of meningitis. Louis was seen for a cochlear implant evaluation 2.5 years after the hearing loss occurred. As you can see, Louis' audiological assessment resulted in no responses beyond 500 hertz. Cued speech was used at home as well as at school. The following is Louis' only attempt to communicate verbally during the speech evaluation prior to receiving the implant.
How about bye-bye? Bye-bye.
Listen, the boy should not sit on the table.
The boy should not sit at the back.
Where should the boy sit?
At the floor.
On the floor? Louis is now 8 years old and has had the cochlear implant for 4.5 years.
The boy should
Good job. He has very good auditory thresholds with the cochlear implant, which range from 35 to 50 dBHL across the frequency range to 4,000 hertz. Okay, now ask me about the middle one.
But at the middle.
Say, which block should I put?
Black should I put at the middle?
Okay, on the middle or in the middle?
In the middle.
That's right, green. Speech and language have improved dramatically. Note the use of the consonant blends as in the word block. Okay, say, which block should I put on the top?
Black should I put at the top?
Yellow. Boat. Matthew developed a profound hearing loss at age 15 months as a result of meningitis. He was unable to benefit from conventional hearing aids, and his speech deteriorated rapidly.
Apple.
As you can see, aided responses were limited to those at 250 hertz. Matthew was enrolled in a total communication program immediately. He had been deaf for 1 year and 2 months at his pre-implant evaluation. The following is an example of his speech skills at that time. What is it? That's right, baby. Baby. Yeah, his baby's sleeping. Yes. Baby. Can you say it again? Baby. That's a good boy.
It's not in California.
It's not in California, no. Matthew is almost 6 years old now and is no longer using sign language. Minnesota?
Minnesota.
That's right. You have to go on a plane, that's right. Note that thresholds with the cochlear implant are well within the speech range. Matthew is now mainstreamed in a first-grade class with normal hearing children and is often able to understand speech without the use of speech reading. Note the use of sibilants such as SH and S, as well as both initial and final blends such as GR and KS. As you can see, Matthew's interactional skills using verbal language are very good. You're such a good kid. You're a good little boy. You know that?
I'm not a little boy, I'm a big boy.
You are? I didn't know that. When did you change from a little boy to a big boy?
Because I was growing.
Oh, I see.
I grow all the time in bed while eating.
You grow in bed and when you're eating all the time?
Yeah, all day.
All day long. You do nothing but grow? Wow.
And then if I eat, when it goes, stop. Right?
Okay. When are you going to stop growing?
Because that's the way it works.
That's just the way it works, huh? Okay. Who's this? Who is this? Daddy, that's right. Christina was evaluated for a cochlear implant at age 6 years, 1 month. She had developed a profound hearing loss as a result of meningitis at age 16 months. Good girl. During audiometric testing, aided responses were seen only at 250 and 500 hertz. Christina was enrolled in a total communication program. Speech was limited to a few vowels and highly visible consonants. Most signs were not accompanied by speech. Okay, the baby fell. That's right, good girl. Okay, say no, the boy did not jump over the big bed. Tell me again.
The bird and it's a part of the big band.
Okay, he jumped over what? The green car. Christina is now 9 years old, and the following is a portion of her most recent follow-up evaluation. Thresholds with the cochlear implant are similar to the previous child's. Christina has also progressed very nicely in speech skills. Note the occurrence of final consonants, which are often deleted in the speech of deaf children. Did the boy walk around the green car?
No, I didn't.
Okay, tell me that.
Where's the green car?
Okay, say, He did not walk around the green car.
He did not walk around the green car.
Walked around the bed, huh?
Beep, beep, beep.
That's what it says. Beep, beep, beep. The car. Car.
Kristen lost her hearing at age 22 months as a result of meningitis. 10 months later, she was evaluated and received a cochlear implant. Unlike the other children presented, Kristen had some responses with a hearing aid beyond 1,000 hertz in the left ear. Thresholds were obtained only at 250 hertz in the ear that was later implanted.
What's this? What is that?
Candy. Candy. Apps, apps, apps.
Up, up, up,
Okay. There's an S on the end. Apps, apps, apps.
up, 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 up.
Good. Wow.
At her 4.5-year follow-up, Kristen was 7 years old and mainstreamed in a regular classroom. Kristen continues to wear a hearing aid in the left ear and the cochlear implant on the right.
Iggle, iggle, iggle.
Iggle, iggle, iggle.
Good.
Thresholds for the implanted ear are similar to those of the other children presented. And as you can see, thresholds with her hearing aid are at the bottom of the speech range. Auditory performance is higher with the cochlear implant than with the hearing aid.
Do you have any pets at home?
Kristen's speech and language have progressed nicely. Although she continues to omit and distort some of the consonants, she is becoming more intelligible when the context is known.
Two rabbits.
You do?
Right toilet, the right kitty cat, is died.
Wow.
And a cat.
So you have one cat?
No,
No cat?
no. A cat died.
He's gone? Did he run away?
No,
Oh.
she's dead. He's dead.
Oh.
This next little girl is Tracy, who lost her hearing just before her 3rd birthday. At her initial evaluation 6 months later, her ability to communicate effectively with speech had deteriorated significantly.
What? What?
Can't hear you.
I can't hear you. What?
Responses elicited during the audiological assessment were limited to 250 and 500 hertz and did not reach the speech range. Tracy was initially enrolled in an oral program and later transferred to an auditory verbal approach.
When the girl her body.
Tracy, at the time of her 5.5-year follow-up, was enrolled in an oral program. Speech and language have continued to improve, and she has regained her ability to communicate effectively. Good job. This one's mine. You have to listen, okay?
Okay.
When Mother was cooking, she burned herself.
When Mother was cooking, she burned herself.
Good job.
When Father was shoving, he hurt himself.
When Father was shaving, he cut himself.
When Father was shoving, he cut himself.
Good job. Note that thresholds with the cochlear implant are well within the speech range. Tracy's speech reflects near normal non-segmental skills, such as intonation, stress patterns, and rhythm. Articulation skills are also better than would be expected for a child with this degree of loss.
I don't know how to play football.
Okay, I do not know how to play football.
I do not know how to play football.
Good job.
Why do you think the clown is crying?
Susan lost her hearing at age 7.5, also as a result of meningitis.
Oh, the guy bit his toe. Okay.
Audiograms taken 4 years later at her initial evaluation indicate no response without hearing aids. Aided responses were limited to 250, 500, and 1,000 Hertz. The following segment was taken from the pre-implant speech and language assessment at that time. As you will see, intelligibility is often reduced due to low intensity, breathy voice quality, and inadequate articulation of specific sounds.
If you leave your truck on the floor, somebody might fall over it. If you leave your ball on the steps, somebody might fall over it. Is it how many people about? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Really?
No.
Not.
But a lot of people live in Kingston. It's more of a cute community.
As you can see in this segment, Susan is now an extremely successful communicator. She is above age level in vocabulary when compared to hearing students her age, and is mainstreamed in an honors program at her local high school.
Like maybe what you're taking next fall, or what you took, or something about your studying.
Well, I'll be a junior. I'm going to be taking 2 English classes, great books, and American authors. I don't even know what the difference is between them.
They kind of sound like they could be the same, huh?
Trigonometry, physics, American culture, and either Spanish 1 or computer math. I can take both because I have to have some study halls a week because I have therapy during my study halls 3 times a week.
There are many variables that affect the prognosis for speech development using a cochlear implant. However, length of deafness and age at implant appear to be very important factors. We are now beginning to see some children who have very intelligible speech. There are also children who exhibit the ability to understand some speech without speech reading. Even though the amount of progress varies from child to child, the potential demonstrated by the children in this tape is extremely encouraging.